Jobok Seafood Restaurant is a seafood restaurant that Hae-byum opened with great ambition and aspirations after a long time of preparation, with the meaning of profits coming in like the tide. He brought out a plate of fish ceviche to the table and said confidently, "Here is the food you ordered, enjoy your meal." Customers who came to the restaurant were also scared due to the rumor that this was the lair of a gangster boss which had spread everywhere. Hae-byum was also very annoyed by this issue. He wondered if it was because of his dragon tattoo, his impression, or his unrefined way of speaking. He whispered, "I will slice it very finely." The customer stammered, "See, can I cancel the order?" As Hae-byum recalled, he thought it was all an issue. In any case, thanks to those customers who did not care about the rumors, he was still able to maintain the restaurant until now. He brought out the food and smiled friendly, "Here is your food, sir." The customer flinched and said, "Oh yes, thank you." Hae-byum turned his back and thought he ordered a large portion by himself. Could it be his companion hadn't arrived yet? Hae-byum's restaurant had many types of customers. Some drunk old men opened the door and entered the restaurant. He quickly greeted them. A drunk old man said, "1 pot of spicy fish soup." Hae-byum asked again, "1 whole pot of spicy fish soup?" The man didn't answer but continued, "and 1 bottle of kwadu liquor." Hae-byum thought dejectedly, these customers are the problem. Customers so drunk they can't even see his face, only ordering spicy fish soup then sitting there making noise for hours. Now they're starting to sing, "Oh darling, that castle of love probably doesn't exist on earth." Hae-byum saw someone tapping chopsticks clacking. He calmly and carefully thought, "What's that? Is he playing the drums?" Before, when there were no customers, he couldn't say anything, but he couldn't stand it anymore. The singing voice still rang out, "Oh darling, tossing and turning all night because of you." He hurriedly went and said, "Excuse me, sir." The one singing recoiled in fright. What? Hae-byum reminded him, "You're affecting other customers. Can you restrain your singing voice, please, sir?" The man growled loudly, "Hey you, what did you say? You're ordering customers around." Hae-byum replied, "I'm asking politely, sir." The man angrily asked, "What's with that begging attitude, begging but glaring like that, huh?" Hae-byum thought he was showing a pitiful pleading face and said, "When was I glaring?" The man ground his teeth and said, "Look at him, arguing slickly." The others laughed quietly. He's embarrassed now, probably scared of being beaten by that guy. The man yelled loudly, "Hey you punk, you think I'm easy to take advantage of?" Hae-byum quickly answered, "Not at all, sir." The man raised his hand high and said, "This insolent punk." Hae-byum was startled, standing still thinking he was about to be hit. Suddenly someone rushed up and grabbed the man's hand, squeezing it hard. The man shakily asked, "Who are you?" The person smiled and said, "Uncle, why are you so angry? If you hit people there would be big trouble." "Ah, uncle, you were just pretending to raise your hand to hit, right?" The man fearfully thought, how is he so strong? Seeing the other's cold gaze, the man quickly pulled his hand back. "Oh right, just acting on emotions." After that he pushed the others out the door saying, "Let's go." Hae-byum breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Thank you." Sanga waved his hand saying, "No problem, I thought the owner was a gangster. Those guys acted more like gangsters. Anyway, I'll go back to my table and keep eating. Your cooking skills are superb." Hae-byum was surprised then burning with fighting spirit. "What else can I get for you, sir?" "I'll treat you as thanks." Sanga hesitated then asked, "Owner, you're not a gangster, right?" After a while, many dishes were served. Sanga said, "Besides being scary, your other dishes are also very tasty." Hae-byum replied, "Please enjoy. Those customers from earlier often cause trouble. I thought I was going to get hit just now. It must be because of my face. Other than customers who are scared of me, there are only troublesome customers here. So customers like you, I'm very grateful." Sanga listened attentively and accidentally touched the hot pot. Hae-byum cried out, "Oh hot?" He ran over, "Are you okay, sir?" He grabbed Sanga's hand and then poured cold water over it. Sanga flusteredly said, "I'm fine." "Strange, he's touching me but I don't feel uncomfortable at all, huh?" Because he heard Sanga mumbling, Hae-byum asked again, "Huh?" Sanga smiled and said, "Oh nothing, I'm okay. And I was served so enthusiastically that I also want to give you a gift in return." Hae-byum shyly declined, "Oh no need, sir." Sanga held out his phone and said, "Can I get your phone number? It's nothing major, I hope you'll accept it." The next day, Hae-byum stood in front of the aquarium gates, silently thinking the guy sent him aquarium tickets. He remembered Sanga happily saying, "Come see me perform the mermaid show." He realized this was the first time he went to an aquarium after becoming an adult and going alone at that. He had no interest in these kinds of things after giving this to the guy and then leaving. But where's the mermaid show? He was startled by the scene before his eyes and even dropped his phone. It was because he had been so startled yesterday that he had such naive, immature thoughts, right? He thought he had fallen for that guy, someone he just met for the first time yesterday. At this time, Sanga was the merman in the pool waving at the visitors. Mermaids are creatures living underwater, or more accurately, they can live both underwater and on land. Although not very common, merpeople do exist in this world. Among famous singers, there are also merperson singers and even mermaid models who take photos underwater. However, that is only a small portion. The majority of merpeople usually keep their identity hidden because many people do not see them as human. The people around whispered, asking if merpeople have to pay taxes. Yes, you idiot. Oh, poor them, only half human but still have to pay full taxes? He glared at that group annoyedly. They startled and went silent. At this point, he suddenly realized, oh, since when were there so many people here? Did everyone come to see the mermaid show? Can he maintain his composure before such a large crowd? He's so talented. At this time, Sanga noticed Hey Byum and rushed over. Hey Byum blushed, thinking too close, so beautiful. I wonder what he wants to say. Oh, down there. He looked down and realized he had forgotten to pick up his phone that fell earlier. Don't know when he dropped it. When he looked up, Sanga was gone. Oh, he left already. Hey Byum mumbled dazedly, the mermaid show goes until 5 p.m. He probably went to rest already. He looked at his phone, there was a missed call from Sanga. He remembered Sanga said to save his number as Beck Sanga. Then what about the owner's name? He sighed, his name was as beautiful as he was, sparkling all over. Oh, but he can't keep admiring a customer like that. Hurry up, give this to him then go home. He was nice enough to give aquarium tickets probably because he felt bad for causing trouble. So I made him a lunchbox as a thank you gift. Luckily because of that I can see him again. Oh no, what am I thinking? Anyway, I came to deliver the lunchbox to him. Have to be natural, can't bother him. He went to the staff room. Ah, he must be in here, have to knock. But he froze and turned away because he saw Sanga kissing someone else. He clenched his teeth, wait, he already has a boyfriend? I came uninvited and saw his private moment, how rude of me. Suddenly, Sanga yelled loudly, I told you to stop. Don't overdo it or I'll throw you out right now. The other asked, you intend to do that? Who else can help you besides me? Hey Byum pushed the door open forcefully and went in. He angrily asked, what are you doing? The other was startled, huh? Who are you? Sanga called out, owner. He marched over menacingly. He already said he doesn't like it yet you dare force yourself on him? The other hurriedly pushed Sanga away. What's this, Beck Sanga? You brought gangsters here? Then hastily left. Sanga asked, why did you come here, owner? Hey Byum worriedly asked, are you okay Sanga? I heard you yell so I ran in. Sanga happily laughed, haha, you thought I was in danger so you charged in so fiercely? He awkwardly asked fiercely. Sanga waved his tail, owner you're so funny. I'm fine, thank you. That guy touched more than necessary so I got mad. He said in a threatening tone, that bastard forced himself on you and then kissed you, right? Sanga honestly said, oh, it was me who needed the kiss so I kissed him, though a bit uncomfortable. But I need human saliva for my legs to grow out. Looks like I'll have to sleep underwater tonight. Hey Byum's face turned bright red. Let me help you, can I? Sanga asked, huh? He stammered, you said you need legs, let me replace that guy and help you. Sanga reached out and touched his face. He grabbed his hand and worriedly asked, are you okay? Sanga thought, just like yesterday, his body temperature doesn't make me uncomfortable. Sanga smiled and said okay, then pulled Hey Byum into the pool. The two shared a kiss underwater then surfaced. Sanga gently said, owner, you have to breathe. Hey Byum suddenly remembered and gasped for air. Sanga giggled, how is that, owner? You can do it right, once a day every day. Because I'm getting help from you, I'll work at your restaurant to repay you. Your restaurant doesn't have a waiter, right? He shyly sank underwater saying yes, no waiter. Sanga quickly pulled him up saying, owner, don't dive down like that. The next day at Jobok's seafood restaurant, someone shouted, what, you're a merperson? Sanga showed his photo saying, here, look, it's me. The other was surprised, that's right, the mermaid performer is you. From that day on, Sanga came to the restaurant every day. On days without mermaid show schedules, he came to the restaurant to help me. Sanga excitedly put on an apron and introduced himself, I'm a part-time worker at the scary Jobok restaurant. Customers happily laughed saying, a merperson working at a ceviche restaurant? You must be friends with the fish at the aquarium show, huh? He replied, yes sirs, so what do you think mere people eat? The customer answered, oh seaweed. He slapped the table saying, how can humans live eating only seaweed? They need protein too. Since they can't use fire to cook underwater, of course, mere people have to eat raw fish. The customers understood, oh right, then mere people should run sushi restaurants. He smiled satisfied, that's right, so let me recommend to you gentlemen the mixed fish ceviche platter. I alone can finish a large serving. Not because it's little, but because it's so delicious I eat a lot. The customer happily said, all right, one large serving for me. Haebyum admired, thinking he was so talented and able to chat with customers so comfortably no matter where. Sanga called out loudly, owner, one large serving of mixed ceviche. He hurriedly answered, oh yes, coming up. Sanga rushed over asking, owner, why do you keep spacing out? Handling knives without focus is dangerous. You keep staring at me. He lowered his head shyly saying, with someone as cool as you in front of me, how can I not look? I don't intend to stare, but my eyes keep going to you. Lately my mind has been full of you. What am I saying? You'll feel burdened. Sanga asked again, so you've been thinking of me this whole time? His face turned red. I really can't stop thinking about you. Because every night I'm with you. The two passionately kissed. Haebyum thought, I'm in such a good mood, I want to hug him. He opened his arms but remembered Sang-ah's words, that guy touched more than necessary, so it made me angry. He panicked, he only wanted saliva, I can't overstep. Then he pulled his arms back. Sanga asked, what's wrong? You wanted to hug me? He answered, you don't like being touched, right? I hope you won't feel uncomfortable even a little bit. Sanga thought, I feel uncomfortable with humans' body temperature, their hot grasping hands always make me scared. Everyone who has touched me was like that. I'm always the one holding back and maintaining the relationship. But this is the first time I've had the urge to touch someone first. Why? Why is it different? What is he? Sanga touched Haebyum. He was surprised. Sang-ah, you suddenly? Sanga thought of the owner's name. Oh no, Haebyum. He was shocked, he called my name. Sanga pulled back saying, oh, I touched you without permission, sorry. He quickly said, no, it's fine if you touch me. Sang-ah panicked, oh my gosh, you mean you're begging me to touch you? He denied, no, not like that. Sang-ah secretly laughed, how interesting. When can I touch you too? Because I'm curious why with you I feel fine. Your hands seem to make me feel comfortable. I want to explore you. Haebyum gently asked, is it okay? As long as you're comfortable, I want to be more greedy. The two embraced each other affectionately. Haebyum thought it was not enough. If he wanted to satisfy his greed, then just 2 hands were not enough. Just hands are not enough, so. He kissed Sang-ah's neck, making him flinch. My neck. Haebyum worriedly asked if he didn't like it. Sang-ah shyly said, it's not that I don't like it, just don't ask those questions, keep going. Haebyum happily thought, pay attention, I just remembered, in his merperson form the scales here are cracked and sensitive. How cute. After that, the two immersed themselves in love. Early the next morning, Haebyum was extremely excited. He felt like he was floating on clouds, not only that he felt satisfied, but he was also happy that Sang-ah was in high spirits. He went to the aquarium to find Sang-ah and signaled to ask if his body was okay. Sang-ah cheerfully replied he was fine. He smiled gently. Today, the two had decided to have dinner together. If they keep meeting like this, Sang-ah might also develop feelings for him. The people around were scared of him. Sang-ah worriedly thought, although Haebyum's impression is a bit scary, he's not a bad person. Yet every time people see him, they avoid him. I also thought he was a gangster the first time we met. Oh, could it be he thinks I'm causing harm to others? Everyone has the right to observe. Suddenly, everyone was happily clapping. Haebyum wondered what was going on. Why was everyone looking this way and cheering? What's behind me? He curiously looked back. A school of fish was surrounding Sang-ah. Sang-ah mouthed, don't go. He was surprised. Even though he said that, if he keeps being like this, it will only make me hope we could become lovers. After the mermaid show ended, Haebyum came to gently dry Sang-ah's hair, saying, you were so cool today, I couldn't take my eyes off you. Aren't you tired? You must have been really tired because of me yesterday. Sang-ah casually said, mere people recover very well. Oh, I see, that's how it is. I just noticed the marks on your body are gone now. And here I was worried about affecting your work. Sang-ah seemed to understand what he was thinking and said, oh, I used makeup to cover them. He was surprised, makeup? It doesn't wash off underwater. Sang-ah laughed, explaining it was mermaid model makeup. Haebyum remembered, I know that brand. So the marks are still there, right? I feel a bit regretful because last night was like a dream. Sang-ah gently said, if you feel regretful that the marks on my body disappeared, you just have to remake them. He worriedly said, can't do that here. Not. Sang-ah whispered, I see, then we have to hurry somewhere else. Help me dry the water, then we can go home together. He excitedly said, okay, I'll dry quick. As he dried, he chatted, this is my first time seeing you up close in merperson form like this. The first time we met I wasn't very clear-headed, so I couldn't see you properly. You're so beautiful, I want to touch you. Sang-ah agreed, then go ahead and touch, it's fine if it's you. He happily asked, really? After that, the two accidentally fell into the pool and started a new delight. Haebyum asked confused, Sang-ah, what are you saying? It's not a delusion. I'm genuinely serious. I've never liked anyone this much before. Sanga turned away resolutely. He asked, then what? Hey-beom stumbled over his words. I want to date you. I want to become your boyfriend. He grabbed Sang-ah's arm tightly. Sang-ah immediately felt the searing heat from wherever Hey-beom touched, burning his skin. He jerked his arm back, glancing to say, you mean for me to become your toy in exchange for water? Hey-beom quickly denied, no, not like that. Because I thought you, Sang-ah, would also have feelings for me. Ah no, even if you don't like me as much as I like you, I thought that eventually you would gradually like me more. Sang-ah wavered slightly. He thought I did once expect that too. But in the moment I felt that scalding pain when Hey-beom touched me, the same as other people, I suddenly sobered up. Can I endure the heat of these hands and expect anything more from humans? Can I trust humans again? I can't. Sang-ah resolutely climbed up the ladder. Hey-beom could only call out Sang-ah's name in futility. Sang-ah spoke sharply, I have no intention of dating anyone. If you want a dating partner, find someone else. After saying that, Sang-ah dusted himself off and left. Hey-beom wanted to call out and stop him, but the masculine part of him made him retract his hand. He silently watched Sang-ah's footsteps from the pool. Somehow, someone outside had been watching. He smiled sinisterly, who knows what plans he has next. The next day at the sushi restaurant, a table of 2 customers called out, owner, we want to order. Hey-beom came out with a frosty expression that chilled them to the bone. The customers were so frightened they couldn't speak. Where's the part-time waiter who worked here? Did he quit? Hey-beom lowered his head answering, yes, perhaps from now on we won't be able to meet again. The customers were disturbed by his strange expression and wanted to piss themselves off. They hurriedly left saying, we're sorry, we'll be going now. Only Hey-beom was left in the empty, lonely restaurant. He suddenly felt like trash, useless. He willfully overstepped Sang-ah's boundaries. He sank into self-loathing. He sniffled holding his phone, thinking I miss Sang-ah, really miss him. We don't even have a single photo together. Our relationship was so flimsy there's not one picture. I thought he had some goodwill towards me. I hoped he would gradually grow to like me over time. Turns out he has no feelings for me whatsoever. He collapsed, crying like a child who lost a playmate. In his mind, he continuously saw Sang-ah's image. Sang-ah, is it no feelings at all? Those expressions, the things he said, really had no meaning. I want to talk with him one more time. Thinking this, he called Sang-ah. From who knows where, the fierce vigorous flames within him surged up again. He gritted his teeth, that's right, I can't give up so easily. Have to approach him again, this time he'll probably think more carefully. Moreover, he needs saliva. With determination this high, I have to go to the aquarium right away. Even if he says he doesn't accept my feelings, I still want to help him. At the aquarium, the staff was troubled because today's atmosphere wasn't lively and positive like the past few days. Because the performer Sang-ah had the lifeless mood of a corpse and was stirring up the water, how could the audience be enthusiastic? He hurried to call the manager, but Sang-ah got a good scolding. Sang-ah, what are you doing? Online is now spreading that our aquarium uses dead mere people for shows. What will our aquarium's image become? Sang-ah softly said, I'm sorry. The manager still angrily said, if you keep this up tomorrow, there will be big trouble. I'll make a post explaining this, so tomorrow you have to perform well to show them. Sang-ah sadly murmured in agreement, yes. The manager called people in to bring Sang-ah back to the pool. Sang-ah thought, Hey-beom, how is he now? I'm worried so I can't do anything. Why don't I have any strength when I'm the one who pushed Hey-beom away? Yet I still regret, how foolish. Suddenly the cart stopped midway. Sang-ah sharply asked, why did you stop in the middle of the hallway? Do you have something to say, Minjo? Minjo sneered, of course I do. Lately, our relationship has been rather distant. I saw you arguing with that gangster, now you have no one to give you saliva, right? Sang-ah yelled angrily, you saw us arguing? You pervert, you were watching from outside my staff room? I told you not to lurk around my staff room. Ha, go away. What's the use of talking to this bastard? Hurry up and take me back. Sang-ah turned away, but unexpectedly Minjo made that same sinister smile as before. He leaned in next to Sang-ah's ear and whispered. Sang-ah was about to turn around and call for help, but a chloroform-soaked cloth was immediately pressed over his face. He could only let out a few groans before passing out. Minjo continued pushing the merperson along. However, when Hey-beom arrived at the aquarium, he only saw a notice saying closed today. He felt gutted, saying, Sang-ah, don't tell me something happened to him? Behind, some guests gossiped, finally got cancelled, scared me to death. That merperson floating around lifeless like a corpse. Hearing this made Hey-beom's blood boil. He ran to the pool and looked inside searching. He's not here, he came to the aquarium today, right? And he's not answering my calls either. Could it be he doesn't want to see my face now? After waiting fruitlessly for someone to appear, Hae-byum had no choice but to dejectedly leave. Right when he got to the parking lot, he caught Min-jo sneaking around suspiciously. Curious, he followed him. He saw him carrying a large bag the size of an adult over his shoulder, shoving it secretly into his car trunk. Suddenly the zipper opened slightly, revealing part of Sang-ah's tail. Hae-byum was extremely confused. What? Is that Sang-ah's tail? Don't tell me he stuffed Sang-ah into that travel bag? No. Hae-byum's entire body shook, worried and scared that something bad happened to Sang-ah. By the time the car sped off, he hurriedly gave chase, but it was too late. Damn it, can't catch up chasing like this. He turned and saw a taxi nearby. He called out, "Taxi. To help me, someone got kidnapped." Because Hae-byum yelled loudly, the taxi driver thought he was the kidnapper. The driver remembered, "Wait, you, the gangster from the sushi restaurant?" Hae-byum also recalled, "Ah, right, the one who ordered just spicy fish soup." The angry driver took out a cigarette and scolded him. "Doing business like that is unacceptable. I was very embarrassed that day." Hae-byum immediately knelt, "Please help me, it was my mistake. I'm urgent right now, just help me this once." The driver reluctantly backed away. Hey. Hae-byum continued, "Someone very important to me is in danger right now." After a few seconds, the driver gallantly said, "Get in the car, youngsters kneeling everywhere nowadays." Hae-byum didn't care about that. He pointed in the direction of Min-jo's car. "Do you see that gray car? Chase it for me." For some reason, the uncle felt like this was the action movie of his dreams. Face flushed, he seriously concentrated on the matter. "Gray, right, the car with a roof rack?" As soon as Hae-byum nodded, he shot off like an arrow, telling him to buckle up and hold on tight. Unexpectedly, the villain's car was nothing like in movies. He drove slowly as if he owned the road, ignoring anyone behind, whether they were tailing him or not. Late at night, the car stopped next to an antique building. Min-jo got out and took out the travel bag. The taxi driver stammered, "He's taking someone out of the trunk?" Before he could finish, Hae-byum already chased after him. The driver called out, "Hey, for things like this we need to call the cops." Inside the house Min-jo brought Sang-ah into, he tied him to a bathtub. After a while, Sang-ah woke up. He unhappily asked, "What is this? What are you doing?" Min-jo sat nearby answering, What? Of course, I'm going to fix this arrogant merperson's bad habits." Sang-ah exclaimed, "Where's this? Your house? Have you gone crazy? You kidnapped me. This is a crime, you want to go to jail?" Min-jo sneered, "I know, but what can be done now? Even if you disappear, no one will look for you." Hearing this, Hae-byum's image appeared in Sang-ah's mind. Min-jo touched Sang-ah's face saying, "I'll tell your aquarium manager that lately Sang-ah didn't feel like working anymore, so he resigned and left." He viciously scratched Sang-ah's neck, forcefully grabbing it to cause immense pain. He continued, "With your lifeless performance at the show earlier, he'll believe it. Beck Sang-ah, you should be obedient. Obediently accept then live comfortably, it's better for you." He climbed into the tub and stroked Sang-ah's body. "Ever since you came to Aqualand, only I have helped you. I'll fix your flirtatious habit of seducing the gangster." Sang-ah firmly stated, "Hey, Min-jo, why did you only tie my hands?" After saying that, he powerfully whipped his tail up from below at Min-jo, sending him flying and crashing heavily into the wall. At the same time, Hae-byum broke down the door shouting, "Sang-ah, are you okay?" Before he could finish, he felt something get blasted into the wall and collapse. Hae-byum was so frightened he couldn't even think of rescuing anyone. He urgently called out looking for Sang-ah and saw the petite merperson tied up in the tub. Sang-ah was also surprised. "Hae-byum, why are you here?" Hae-byum quickly explained, "I chased after you by taxi here. That bad guy was carrying a bag and putting you inside. I saw your tail sticking out of the bag. I was worried something happened to you. Let me untie you." Seeing Hae-byum's flustered urgency, Sang-ah secretly felt happy but outwardly said, "I already rejected your feelings, right?" Hae-byum smiled gently, "I know. Then why? Could you be asking why I came to save you? If the person I like is in danger, of course, I'll come to rescue them. Even if you said we have no relationship, as long as you need help, I want to help." Hae-byum brought his face close. Sang-ah startled, thinking he wanted to kiss me, but no. He was just biting the tape to untie it. Hae-byum explained, "No scissors, so I had to use my teeth." Sang-ah's face reddened, "Thank you." Suddenly he opened his eyes wide looking behind, saying quickly, "Hae-byum, be careful behind you." Min-jo had woken up. He was furious, "Beck Sang-ah and you gangster punk, I'll kill you both." Hae-byum retorted, "Why are you angry?" "No, only you get to be angry. Minjo violently threw a punch at Hey Byum's face, about to land a second one, but Hey Byum grabbed his hand, then his other arm too. Minjo struggled angrily, cursing nonstop. Who the hell are you to interfere? This is between me and Baek Sang-ah. Don't butt into things unrelated to you, piss off. He kicked at Hey Byum repeatedly. But Hey Byum stood still like a statue, saying in a slightly sad tone, I am Sang-ah's boyfriend. Suddenly, the police burst in. Anyone here? This is the police. Minjo was startled. What, the cops? Seeing the one with tattoos looking so fierce, the two policemen cuffed Hey Byum first. You can call your lawyer for defense. Sang-ah yelled, not him. Arrest the one in the blue shirt. The two cops arrested both, unable to discern who the real culprit was. After questioning the taxi driver who reported the crime and getting the full story, they released Hey Byum. We've confirmed your innocence, but we'll still need you to come state to help us later. But Hey Byum went back to Sang-ah. Seeing him come up, Sang-ah also breathed a sigh of relief. Good thing you were released. Hey Byum, with tears streaming down his face, looked very pitiful. Hey Byum, why are you crying? The police just misunderstood. Don't be sad. Hey Byum answered, I was so scared. I was scared I wouldn't be able to protect you. I was very scared. Seeing and hearing Hey Byum's every action and word, Sang-ah suddenly thought. At times like these, no matter how hot it is, I want to hug him. Hey Byum was still crying. Sang-ah. Sang-ah said, you're still so hot, huh? Hey Byum was startled. Could it be because my body temperature is too high? They say even cold water can get burnt by the human body's heat. Could it be for mere people too? Sang-ah immediately replied, that's right, your body is too hot. Hey Byum's face paled. Then hurry, let me go. I don't like. No, this isn't hot. It's warm. I never thought humans could be this warm. That's why I pushed you away before. I'm sorry, thank you for coming to save me. Hey Byum stuttered, asking, then you're okay now, right? Even if I touch you. Before finishing, Sang-ah had already embraced and kissed Hey Byum passionately. Although he had saliva, for some reason Sang-ah's legs still wouldn't grow out. Then Hey Byum took the opportunity to bring Sang-ah home. He carried Sang-ah in his arms, speaking with a hint of excitement. Pardon the mess, I'll tidy up right away. Sang-ah thought this was Hey Byum's house. Haha, it's already very clean, why do you keep cleaning? Suddenly causing you this inconvenience, sorry. Hey Byum busily wiped here and there, mouth denying, no, you just went through a huge shock. If I let you go back to the aquarium alone, I would feel guilty. Of course, I don't have any ulterior motives. Sang-ah awkwardly said, oh heavens, you don't have to work so hard to maintain moisture. Hey Byum lowered his head. If that's so, thank goodness. Why isn't your tail transforming into legs? Could your body be having some problem, Sang-ah? Rest today, tomorrow let's go to the hospital together. Sang-ah smiled sideways, this is my first time experiencing this. Originally, if a merperson feels unsafe, no matter how much saliva is received, the fishtail won't transform into legs. Looks like I was very frightened. Haha, but thanks to brave Hey Byum, everything got resolved already. I wonder why. Hey Byum touched his face, saying, I was also very scared to the point of tears. Even so, if now you Sang-ah don't mind me touching you, I want to be your comfort. See me as a teammate going through difficulties together. Sang-ah was shocked to hear that. Teammate? Hey Byum explained, yes, that's right. I'm not stubbornly forcing you to date me. Don't feel pressured, just act comfortably with me, okay? Sang-ah remembered just yesterday he had rejected someone's feelings. He felt this was his karma. Alright, you mean to act comfortably, right? You Hey Byum can do anything to comfort me, right? He clung to Hey Byum's neck, whispering suggestive things. Hey Byum's face flushed red. Right, that's right. As long as you're comfortable, Sang-ah, anything. Sang-ah pressed his lips close, saying, then don't talk like we're teammates. Hug me. And so, what was bound to happen, happened. The two tightly embraced each other, entwining like two starving leeches. Amidst their intimacy, Sang-ah spoke up. It's not just saliva that's effective. I told you right? Turns out Hey Byum's thing can also make Sang-ah's legs appear. The two finally achieved fulfillment through the act couples do. A few weeks later, we announced that from now the water show with the merperson would commence. Let's watch the merperson's return to Aqualand. Sang-ah appeared but was wearing an oversized wetsuit covering him completely. The audience felt a bit strange. What's this? Doesn't feel as expected, huh? The taxi driver also appeared. What's this? If you want to show thanks, should prepare sushi or a huge fish. Like this, only kids will like it probably. Hey Byum standing nearby answered. Of course I'll treat you to a feast later. See this as good enough for now. Look, that's Sang-ah, my love. Originally Sang-ah doesn't wear anything during water shows, but last night, Too many marks appeared on Sang-ah's body, for reasons everyone knows. Hae-byum cried, Sang-ah, I just realized, you don't wear anything during the shows. Of course. Sang-ah asked, you're only realizing that now? Hae-byum flattered. Sang-ah's body is like art, so I didn't realize. But, having so many people see your body like that that protective gear is because of me, your national husband. He sinisterly asked the people around. What? Isn't my Sang-ah very cute? Seeing everyone avoid him, Hae-byum knew the answer. But he didn't care, seeing Sang-ah staring at him smiling blissfully. Sang-ah's lips moved. Hae-byum thought, even if I can't hear what he's saying, I feel like I can tell. In our relationship, there are no boundaries. The host announced, the Trot King. It is a great honor that the winner is Ma Tae-hae. Then Ma Tae-hae's sweet, lingering voice sang out. The uncle held out his phone playing Ma Tae-hae's song and asked, what do you think? Sang-ah? The merperson won this time's Trot Survival for both advertising and entertainment. There's nowhere they don't appear. Sang-ah annoyedly asked back. So? The uncle brought up the main issue. Sang-ah also knows, right? Your aquarium has been struggling lately? Follow the trend and create a hot topic. Sang-ah frowned asking back. Now you're telling me to sing? But his face was expressing, this damn bastard has lost it, huh? Seeing him like this, the manager softened his tone calling out. Sang-ah, I'm your superior. Can you control your expressions a bit? He could read something in Sang-ah's face. The merperson irritably yelled. How can I control it when you're saying such nonsense? I'm an underwater performer. Why are you suddenly telling me to sing? He explained further to him. It's not actual singing per se, just making a bit of noise for a hot topic. Sang-ah slapped the water splashing him. Not all mere people can sing well. Manager, that's a stereotype. The manager was at a loss. Okay. Sang-ah. The truth is, because the Trot King winner was a merperson, he got inspiration from that. In an instant his expression became more aggressive, phone crunching in hand, blaming himself for suggesting this. And the reason was, 2 months ago Sang-ah was floating listlessly in the water, so there were rumors he got dumped, and the company image was in chaos. In the petition for improving merperson welfare because of the product boycott movement, it was very chaotic. You're the cause of the current situation, so take responsibility. Falsely accused, the red-faced Sang-ah yelled. At that time, I wasn't dumped. I dumped Hae-byum. Suddenly there was a plopping sound of something falling. Sang-ah looked and saw Hae-byum standing at the entrance. He stuttered, calling out, Hae-byum. Tears were streaming down his face as he choked out, I got dumped. Without letting him explain, Hae-byum ran off in one shot. Sang-ah called out after him, Mr. Hae-byum. He hastily climbed out of the pool, but because he was in mare form, flopped down. Sang-ah immediately shot the manager a death glare. The uncle was so frightened he stammered asking, what now? He said it himself earlier. Sang-ah sternly ordered, Manager, bring Mr. Hae-byum back. Then threatened, if anything happens to Hae-byum, Aqualand will exhibit a 7-legged octopus. Imagining the frightening scene, the uncle shrieked, No! After a while, Sang-ah was brooding, pensively stroking an octopus. After resolving the misunderstanding, Hae-byum happily sat at the poolside waving to him. Seeing he had returned, Sang-ah also smiled, waving back. In his heart he had made the decision. He had indeed caused a lot of trouble. Doing a bit more like singing might be good. At home, after hearing the full story, Hae-byum understood. He added, actually because of the kidnapping you halted the shows for a while, right? Looks like the rumors of a dead merperson are spreading more and more. Sang-ah whined, rolling around on the mat. But still, suddenly telling you to sing. Does that make any sense? Hae-byum suddenly was curious to suggest that he wanted to hear Sang-ah sing once. This startled and flustered him. He quickly explained he couldn't sing. Hae-byum encouraged, even if he sings well or not, he still wants to hear it. Since he has never heard Sang-ah sing before, knowing everything about him is his ambition. Sang-ah shyly agreed, then, if it's just a short part, then I guess I could. Hae-byum was so happy he asked again to confirm. He immediately sat facing Sang-ah, ready to listen attentively. Sang-ah prepared to sing. Hae-byum's eyes were full of anticipation. His infatuation was fully displayed. Sang-ah must have a beautiful voice, so no matter what he sings it'll be sweet like the voices of heaven. He must be shy about it. Someone as charming as Sang-ah. Just the voice is enough to fall for. Sang-ah took a breath and then let out his singing voice. This voice was scratchy like fingernails on a chalkboard, rumbling loudly like a truck, clanging so harshly even cups would shatter from his singing. Even turning to stone couldn't prevent Hae-byum's shock. He hugged Sang-ah, saying from now on, he wants to be the only one to hear Sang-ah sing. Sang-ah smacked him hard then scolded. I know I'm a bad singer, so don't try to console me. Suddenly Hae-byum hesitantly called out, Sang-ah, then said, he meant Sang-ah's bedroom voice is extremely beautiful. The passionate words made Sang-ah grin happily, asking, Oh, Hae-byum, are you seducing me? Feeling shy, the owner backed away, saying he takes back what he said earlier. Sang-ah touched his neck, asking, Take back? My bedroom voice isn't nice? Hae-byum couldn't take it anymore and yelled, It's amazingly nice. Sang-ah didn't wait and leaned in to peck his cheek, then whispered, Having a late dinner is fine too. Hae-byum, smiling sinisterly. Unable to resist this seduction, Hae-byum softly called his name, Sang-ah. After the fierce battle ended, Hae-byum thought back and felt that Sang-ah disliked singing, so the company forcing him made Sang-ah even more tired. After consoling his beauty, he also scooted closer to sleep with him. In his heart he was full of thoughts. It'd be good if Sang-ah's mood improved, but he didn't know what he liked. Hae-byum immediately took out his phone and typed to search for ways to relieve a merperson's mood. He found an interview with a merperson. The reporter asked, Mr. Ma De Hae, what do you do to relieve stress? What do merpeople like to do on days off? The merperson singer replied that he likes going to the East Sea the most. The surprised reporter asked, To the East Sea? The swimming pool not enough? Ma De Hae looked straight at the camera, answering, But swimming in the East Sea is different. All my merperson friends agree, right? I see. Hae-byum felt like he had discovered a whole new enlightening piece of knowledge. Soon after, on a nice day, Sang-ah happily stuck his head out the car window, yelling, My God, don't know how long it's been. Really very long. Hearing him say that, Hae-byum asked, Very long since you traveled? Or very long since you've been to the beach? Sang-ah immediately answered, Both. The car bumped along the seaside road, then stopped at a place with a path to the beach. Sang-ah got out, feeling the scenery. Such beautiful scenery, and no people. Hae-byum smiled, saying, Because this isn't a resort. Sang-ah won't have to mind others and can play freely, so I chose here. Sang-ah saw through his intentions and jokingly asked, It's not because Hae-byum wanted it to be just the two of us, right? He openly admitted, That's the biggest reason. Hearing this, the surprised Sang-ah said, Hae-byum, you've gotten more cunning. Hae-byum put his arm around his shoulder, joking, Thanks to who? Under the clear blue water, Sang-ah's whole body sparkled.
He laughed happily, waving, Hae-byum.
Capturing this beautiful moment, Hae-byum held up his phone, snapping away. He happily thought, Sang-ah is so happy. Coming here was the right decision. He had heard all merpeople are born in the ocean. Sang-ah must also need to live in the ocean. The aquarium gives him unreasonable demands. And he even got kidnapped. Merpeople live together in the deep seas. For them, that place would be more comfortable and safe, right? He probably can't go with Sang-ah. These thoughts continuously ran through Hae-byum's mind. Seeing him just standing there, Sang-ah wondered, asking, Aren't you coming down? What are you doing? Hae-byum. Hae-byum explained, Watching you swim in the sea is so refreshing. I want to capture these moments. Sang-ah swam over, saying, What's the point of photos of just me? Let's take them together. Not letting him react, he quickly snapped one. Hae-byum was the only ugly one in this photo. He freaked out. No, only I look funny. Sang-ah gleefully laughed, saying, Then delete it and retake it. Come on. To his surprise, Hae-byum protectively hugged his phone like treasure, refusing outright, Can't do that. I won't delete any photos of you. Hearing this made Sang-ah feel so sweet his teeth hurt. Then he suggested, We can take more photos later. For now, swim with me, Hae-byum. He wanted to enter the sea with him. Hae-byum heartlessly flung his phone onto the sand. He followed his beloved, slowly entering the water. With loving eyes, he thought, he couldn't breathe underwater. But since Sang-ah said to go together, he couldn't not follow him. Then they shared a passionate kiss. At sunset, Hae-byum and Sang-ah sat on the sand. Sang-ah said, Thank you, Hae-byum, for bringing me here. I'm so happy because it's been so long since I came. Haebyum wondered how long it had been since Sang-ah got to come to the beach like this. Leaning on his shoulder, he answered it's been almost 3 years now. Seems like the first time since he started working at the aquarium. Surprised, Haebyum exclaimed, 3 whole years, why? Sang-ah explained work kept us busy. Getting to the beach required a very long drive, and transforming his legs wasn't easy either. Haebyum lowered his voice asking, hasn't Sang-ah ever thought of returning home? Most mere people live in the ocean depths. Yet he seemed to only remain on land, burdened with difficult work. Sang-ah showed no regret, smiling contentedly that it was thanks to persevering on land that he met Haebyum after all. And if told to return home, there'd be no more Starbucks. He gloomily recounted the ocean depths are seriously so uncivilized. Once he went to a subway. Since bread can't be eaten underwater, they invented seaweed rolls to sell. He collapsed. Now Haebyum understood, saying, I see, so that's how it is. Then Sang-ah whispered in his ear, but above all, if I returned home, wouldn't Haebyum be very lonely? You won't even delete my photos. He embraced Haebyum affectionately. Me too. Now I don't want to erase any trace of you in my life. These sincere words made Haebyum's whole face flush red. He was about to say, you saying that but before he could finish, Sang-ah cupped his face and kissed him passionately. Their fiery love began blazing. Right after their intimate moments, suddenly a voice called out from afar asking if anyone was there. This startled the two who were secretly engaging in private acts. The sound of footsteps shuffling closer caused Sang-ah to hurriedly cover Haebyum's mouth to prevent him from making any noise. Feeling the dangerousness of the situation, they would be in big trouble if discovered. But when the man walked over and peeked behind the rock, he was puzzled and wondered out loud if he heard the sounds of someone. The uncle could only stand there scratching his head in confusion. Underwater, Sang-ah had already pulled Haebyum down with him to hide. But after a while, Haebyum's face turned blue from lack of air. Sang-ah quickly used his mouth to transfer air to him. This sweet act made Haebyum blush profusely. After a while, the two dared to surface above the water. Haebyum, as if freed, took several deep breaths continuously. He looked at Sang-ah and said that earlier he had slightly negative thoughts. What if Sang-ah wanted to return to his homeland, to go back to the deep sea? What would he do? Even though he didn't know what the future held, presently Sang-ah was still here, and that was enough for him. Sang-ah, with a radiant face, asked back if, at that time, he would have to follow him by all means, or cling to him tightly and not let him go. Haebyum gently said that he didn't want Sang-ah to act according to his wishes, but rather he wanted to cater to Sang-ah's desires. Therefore, if he had to take Sang-ah away, he would be willing to follow him just like earlier. Touched, Sang-ah hugged him and said, then, first of all, let's go back to the place where they could be together. The two held hands as they strolled down the small street. Haebyum was pondering where they should eat dinner tonight. Most places mainly served raw fish, which Sang-ah already ate a lot regularly. Sang-ah immediately cut him off and said he liked raw fish. Sang-ah asked if, although Haebyum's cooking was still the best, he sometimes wanted to eat food made by others too, right? Giving in to his wishes, Haebyum said then they would go to a decent restaurant. Sang-ah immediately pointed to a place and introduced that this one was it. Earlier he had searched for the highest-rated restaurants and was told this one was the best. Haebyum agreed, then let's go in. But the first glance at the food caused Haebyum's face to turn green as he was startled. He shakily asked why did they enter this restaurant? Perplexed by his strange reaction, Sang-ah asked what was wrong with Haebyum. He immediately suggested they go towards the market to find another place to eat instead. Suddenly, behind Haebyum appeared a huge, muscular uncle who looked very fierce. With a grunt, just that one word was enough to startle him again. Sang-ah was very amused. He excitedly said, look, the owner also has a tattoo on his arm like Haebyum. Not only that, but wow, he looks extremely similar to Haebyum. Could it be? Haebyum tried to deny it and say no, that's not it. Unexpectedly, the uncle yelled, that Haebyum rascal. If you already come home, you should at least greet me properly. Just his thundering voice and immense aura alone made the two cower in fear. Afterwards, Sang-ah, and he awkwardly sat down at the table without saying a word. Sang-ah grumpily said to him, "So, hey Byum, this is your hometown?" Hey Byum's face paled as he hurriedly turned to explain to him that he didn't intentionally hide anything. He was just afraid Sang-ah would feel uncomfortable. His parents' restaurant was originally located in the city, but he didn't know they had moved without telling him anything. With accusing bullet-like eyes, Sang-ah asked if he was afraid to make him uncomfortable, and hid the fact that this place was his hometown. Hey Byum could only desperately apologize repeatedly. Suddenly, the owner heavily placed down a huge plate of fish with a loud clack, still using his fierce face to rumble at his son. "Hey Byum, you rascal. How's the restaurant? Yet you daringly come down here and close up shop." Hey Byum immediately justified himself that no, he only temporarily closed it for today. His dad used a gloomy expression to ask back, "Today isn't a holiday." Just this one sentence from him was enough to wither Hey Byum, causing him to stammer, so he said temporarily. His dad scolded, "What kind of son was this? Does he think the restaurant is a fridge that he can freely open and close as he likes?" Hey Byum wanted to explain that, but he had an extremely important matter. Seeing the interaction between the father and son, Sang-ah was a bit amused and exclaimed, "Wow, Hey Byum is getting scolded by his dad." All the while, his dad's yelling still rang loudly in his ears. "What kind of important thing is that you come back home yet don't even give your family a call and instead go sightseeing? On top of that, you even dare say you abandoned the restaurant to go play." Hearing this, Sang-ah also felt immense pressure. He thought to himself that this trip was to help relieve his stress. Suddenly Hey Byum boldly declared that to him right now, this matter was the most important, "Father." This sentence astonished Sang-ah, causing his face to turn completely red. Even his father was stunned speechless for a few seconds. His eyes widened as he looked between his son and the boy next to him, immediately realizing something was off. He was about to ask if could it be you too. Before he could finish his sentence, he was cut off by a basket full of vegetables heavily smacking him on the head with a thud. His wife scolded, "What was with this old man? Why did he always nag and scold, making it so the kids couldn't even eat properly? Closing the restaurant for a bit. What's the big deal? Go outside and take some orders." Seeing this exchange, the two boys were also taken aback. Turning towards the young ones, his wife gently said it was the first time Hey Byum brought a guest home to visit. She then asked what his name was. Sang-ah immediately answered that his name was Baek Sang-ah. She complimented, "What a refreshing handsome boy. What does Sang-ah do?" While Hey Byum anxiously fidgeted next to him, Sang-ah casually conversed that he was a mermaid actor at the aquarium. The wife's eyes lit up as she exclaimed, "Oh my, Sang-ah is a mermaid?" He had just replied yes when she asked another question. "Then does he know Ma De Hey?" Hey Byum tried to stop his mom, but she kept talking. "What do you mean? Sang-ah is also a mermaid actor. Of course, he would know the mermaid singer." As his dad walked by holding food, he also chimed in that he thinks compared to that empty-headed Ma De Hey, Sang-ah was much better. Right away his wife shooed him to hurry outside and take orders from the customers. Afterwards, gently, she said, "Oh dear." She bothered the two of them. "Just eat comfortably." At the end of the meal, his parents came out to the entrance to send them off. His mom said to come by again. "Okay." Sang-ah, Hey Byum, remember to keep in contact. The two bowed and took their leave. Hey Byum didn't forget to apologize to him for the trouble today. But Sang-ah wasn't angry at all and instead said that although he was a bit surprised, it was very fun. He got to learn some new things about Hey Byum. Next time, he should meet his family too. Hearing Sang-ah suggest this made Hey Byum very excited. He agreed, of course. Still feeling remorseful, he said, "But still, today's matter was truly embarrassing." Sang-ah consoled him that he already said it was fine. Thanks to Hey Byum's parents, he realized some refreshing things. Puzzled, Hey Byum asked to realize new things. Sang-ah gently smiled and told him that after all, he got to be called an actor too. After returning from the beach, Sang-ah went back to work. This time, he appeared in a different role. Sang-ah started to speak, beginning the story about a small crab that got caught and brought to the seafood market. This time, he was the storyteller in the Mermaid's Ocean fairy tale reading program for children. Below the stage was gathered a large crowd of kids. Sang cutely started the story. Hello, the little crab originally lived out in the ocean, but he was extremely curious about land. As he read, he lifted the tail of the old crab, playing the role of the little crab to vividly illustrate. Next to him, the manager was very satisfied, praising that Sang was truly professional at this job. Hey-bium also agreed. That's right, sir. He sentimentally said to Hey-bium, if you let him sing, who knows what would happen. Surprised, Hey-bium asked, have you heard it too, sir? He only smiled and asked, anyway, I heard this performance was Hey-bium's idea, right? Thank you so much. Hey-bium replied it was nothing. He only did one thing, staying by Sang-a's side. The uncle said to him that staying by his side was hugely important. Hey-bium only softly smiled and responded with an affirmative. On the other side, Sang-a was immersed in the story's dialogue. Little crab, oh little crab, run away, run far, far away. Below, the crowd of children excitedly cheered together. He continued, thank you, human. I live in the sea while you live on land, but I will come find you every day. Then at that time, let's play for a very, very long time. After the storytelling event, Sang-a came up to Hey-bium and asked his opinion. What did he think? How was Mr. Hey-bium? He immediately lavished praises that it was extremely good. Afterwards, he asked Sang-a if he was hungry now. He bought rice, so let's go in together and eat. His words got cut off by the bickering of children's voices arguing no. I saw it already. Mermaids can also grow legs and walk around. The kid next to him argued back no. There's no such thing. The first boy angrily marched up to ask, did you hear? Mermaids can also grow legs, right? Sang-a smiled and affirmed of course they can. The second one objected that he was lying. How could that be possible? Sang-a grabbed Hey-bium's sleeve, emphasizing it was true. If you meet the person you love, then it will be possible. The atmosphere overflowing with burning love between the two marked the story's ending.